Hello everyone, welcome to Wing Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. Today we're going to do our third set of alternatives for the April 2026 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Lakeside Retreat. And here are the 9 cards that you could have made had you done this kit as intended. But as you know, we changed things up around here, so we're going to do a couple of alternatives today. So, if we could get started, let's do that. So if I could ask you, though, while I'm getting this out and ready, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I would love to have you join us around here. And hit that like button and leave me a comment. I'd love to talk to you. Okay, so we're going to start with a card base of Misty Moonlight that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give this a nice burnish so it lays nice and flat. We've got a piece of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. And then we've got some goodies here that came in the kit. So this is half of one of the card bases that I cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. It's going to go right on. It's our first layer. I have another piece that this was also in the kit. This is a Misty Moonlight. It's kind of got like a, almost like a washed color to it. It's kind of hard to see, but it is there. This I have cut down to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, so this is square. We're going to put that right there. Another piece, this was a pop out from the kit that was just this beautiful scene here. And this is 3.5 by 3.5, and that's going to be our next layer. So right there. And I've got a circle that I cut from, I believe it was just like the Stylish Shapes dies. So any circle that's, let's see, how big is this? It's about 1/2 inch. No, sorry, I lied. It is 1.5 inches. So any circle would do. And this is a cutout here, this wonderful, that I got from the add-on dies for this quarter. So these were called Wonderful Scenes dies. And we've got the wonderful, we've got some butterflies, some flowers. This almost looks like a firework thing. And then this lovely sign that we're going to use here in our next card. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. So let's go ahead and get some of this down here. So let's get our first layer down. And, excuse me, I have like a tickle in my throat. So let's see. Let's get this down here. We're going to just center this up on our card right here on the front. So something just kind of like that looks pretty good. We'll give that a push. And then we've got our next layer, which is our little color wash here. And I'm going to center that up toward the top. So kind of about right there looks pretty good. So we've got some space at the top, kind of even borders on the left and the right. Kind of, sort of. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now, our little scene here is going to go next. So we're going to put that right here. Okay, that's just beautiful. All right, so now let's do our stamping. We've got our wonderful that we're gonna put in here somewhere. I haven't quite decided where. We could put it anywhere, but maybe right there. But let's just think about that for a minute while we do our stamping. We are going to stamp in Misty Moonlight because obviously that matches the color in our card. And on our little circle here, we are going to stamp the word Dad that came in the kit. So we're going to make this a Father's Day card because I need some of those for my stash. And so, let's see. We're going to do this right here in the middle like this. Oh, that didn't turn out well, did it? Okay, that's okay. We can use the other side. let's just do something here right quick. Let's clean our stamp. And then let's do, I may not have seasoned this stamp because I'm not sure if I've used this one yet. So I cleaned it. So then let's do this and let's just try a couple practice stamps here. Just to see if we get a better, see how much better that is than what we got the first time. Okay, it's so important to season the stamp. Because if you don't, you're going to end up yucky. Yucky stamps. Alright, let's try this again. It's a good thing the paper has two sides to it, right? Alright, so let's just try this one more time. I think we'll be good this time, and we are. Okay, so we'll put that there. On the inside, we're going to do the stamp that came in the kit that says Happy Father's Day. Let's go ahead and season this up because I haven't used this one yet either. And that way we stand a better chance of getting a crisp and clean stamp. Alright, so, or a crisp and clean image, I guess is what I meant to say. There we go. See how much better that is? Okay, it's just important to do that to get that manufacturing film off of them before you try to stamp with them. Alright, so let's get our inside piece down. Let's see. We'll get some glue, maybe, on this. And we're going to center that up on our inside. Okay, perfect. Alright, now let's pop our dad piece up on a dimensional or two. So we will do this and get the backs off of here. Alright, so let's put our dad right down here in the lower right hand corner. And then we're going to put our wonderful, maybe we should just put it, I don't know, what do we think? Right here or up here? I can't quite decide where I like it. I'm going to put it down here, just because this seems so far away from the other that it just seems odd to me. Let's see if we can get some glue out of this. It looks like we're about to run out in this glue bottle. So just a little bit. And I see before we go to put this down, we have a inside of our D here that didn't pop out. So let me see if I can get that out of the way before we put, there we go, got it. We don't want it down on our card. So let's put this right down here. And that way it's close to our other sentiment and not, you know, in a different zip code up here. It seemed like it was really far away. Okay, so there is that. Perfect. All right, let's see what we can do about some bling here. We've got some iridescent foil gems that we're going to use on this. So let's get one of the big ones. And we'll put that down, not on my finger. All right, on the card. Works much better. And we'll do a little one right here. And then one more little one over here. Well, stay. There we go. Perfect. All right. So there's our first card. Let's move on to our second one. This is going to be a pretty easy one too. We're going to start with a card base that's very vanilla. And it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give it a nice burnish so it lays down nice and flat. We have another piece of vanilla for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. Now, this piece came from an old paper pack, an old 6 by 6 paper pack that was something plaids, I think. And I thought this was perfect. That went with the colors in our bicycle that came in the kit. So, that's why I picked this paper piece. So, let's use, it's 4 by 5 1/4, if I didn't say that already. So let's get this down as our first layer. And let's make sure, okay, so we're going to put that here on the front. And we'll do something like this. Looks pretty good. So we'll give that a nice press. All right, then also in the kit we have this, it's supposed to be a sentiment strip, but we're just kind of going to use it as a landing point for our sign that I cut out of Very Vanilla. So this came out of that add-on die. So here's our signpost. This was the piece that was in the middle. We're going to stamp on this piece. So let's do that next. So we're going to stamp in some Cajun Craze. Now, on our signpost, we are going to do Happy Birthday. This was a stamp that was in the kit. So let's ink this up. All right, I'll line this up so we can start with it hopefully straight. And we'll get our Happy Birthday down. Give that a second or two. All right, looks good. Now, on the inside, we're going to do, says, older, wiser, better. So this was a stamp that was in the kit as well. All right, I'm going to get that right down here. Give that a couple seconds. Perfect. Okay, put the ink away. We might actually get through a whole video without me getting ink on my fingers. That would be a miracle. All right, so let's get this down. Nobody ever claimed I was a clean stamper. Very messy. All right, so let's get this on the inside here. We're going to center that up. Just like that. All right, now back on the outside, we're going to put our landing strip here. So we're just going to kind of put this down flat. We're going to put our bicycle here and our signpost here. Move our bike down just a bit. Okay, so let's get our signpost down first. And then we can maneuver the rest of it. So I'm just going to put that as to the far left edge as I can, so it'll still be on the card. And let's just put a couple drops of glue just to hold this bottom frame part down. So just like that. Okay, so there's our signpost. Now, this I'm going to do right down here and just cover up just the very edge of our signpost. So it kind of looks like it's, you know, behind this. So just like that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We got that. Now, our bicycle is going to go here. Let's see, I think we'll just kind of overlap just the corner of our signpost. So let's get this piece down next. So this is going to go right here in the middle. And you know what? Let's see. I think we stamped on that the wrong direction. So that's all right. We can fix it. It's easily fixable. I didn't realize that it wasn't quite square. So let's just ink this back up and do our happy birthday again with the orientation this way so that it fits back inside of the signpost. All right. All right, easily fixable. All right, once again, we're tempting fate with the ink pad. I think we're good. Now I think what I want to do is pop this up on a dimensional or two, just to give it a tad bit of dimensions. So let's make sure that we've got that the right direction, and we do. So we'll put a couple of dimensionals. It's going to move this one over just a tad bit. Okay, sticking off the edge. All right, so I'm going to do about 4, one in each corner here. Okay, so we'll get our, I guess we already have that one off. Let's get the backs off of the other 3. And then I'm just going to set this right down in here, just like that. That's perfect. And then we'll put our bicycle here and get some bling on this, and we will be good to go. So we're going to put our bicycle down flat. Just kind of get a little bit of glue on this. I'm just going to set it right here. Perfect, just like that. All right, we need some bling, so we're going to use, let's see. You know what? I think for this one we're going to use some antique pearls. Because why not? So let's see where we want to put these. Let's do one here. And a tiny one there. And one more tiny one down here. All right. And that is that. Beautiful. All right, so here are 2 cards that we made today. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back on Friday for Funfold Friday. So I hope to see you back then. Have a crafty evening. Bye.